What's up, survivalists? Jason here. Today I'm going to do my last urban garden update. The last time you saw this was in June, and I'll leave a link to it down below so you can check that video out. But a lot has happened since the last time that I've done a garden update, and you can see right here. That's a lot, just right there. The biggest thing I gotta say is the desert sunflower. This has gotten huge. It usually takes up quite a bit of the walkway. I usually try to trim it up a bit, but because of my recent job that I've had, it kind of limited the amount of time I could stay out here and tend to the garden. It got so heavy on one side that it actually split right there. I tied up a little bit of jute twine on it, kept it all together right there, and so far it's still living on that side. But this has been seeding off and on. There's the current seeds that it has around here, and one actually came up. So that's pretty cool. I've been throwing all the prunings and trimmings all right there, use it kind of like a mulch. And I had one big zinnia flower right here, a pink one, and I used that for the seeds of all of these right there. See right here, there's a reddish orange one right there, has a few blooms on it, a yellowish orange, an actual pink one, and a real orange one right there. And there are a few holes throughout there because there are a few bugs somewhere around here. Still trying to find exactly which one is eating up the zinnias, or if they're all the same that's eating it all. But right here, the last of the tick seed flower. This is the only one that's left. These are supposed to be perennials, and they were all right here and right over there. And once the tick seed ones kind of died off, it allowed this smaller plant to grow a lot. I'm not sure which one this is. It's supposed to be another one of the hummingbird little mix that I had. And this one is putting off a few seeds, but not as many as it was doing with a bunch of the other ones. But hopefully it's dropped enough so it could actually come back and actually grow even more of the perennials if the roots are still good inside of there. And remind you, this is pretty much all clay. I have put a bunch of grass as a mulch, and this kind of dried up and then made it kind of like a good little covering to possibly even hold some moisture. And looks like there is a little bit of moisture underneath there, but not as good. But I mean, it's been like almost 100 degrees throughout this whole week. So there is the main part of my garden. I have this little garden pot. The only thing that's left in here is the globe mallow, but it is flourishing as well. This was a transplant along with this desert sunflower. This is growing, first rooted on this side when I transplanted it, and it just kind of growing around it. I should have possibly put it in the ground because this is gonna get huge. I just realized from one of my neighbors has the same plant, and it is just a huge bush, so I'm not sure about that. Next, if you follow this, all right there, you can see my cantaloupe, and yes, it is taking a turn for the worst because it is getting attacked by a whole bunch of leaf miners. I've been trying to get ahead of it, but with work, 40-hour to 40-hour weeks, I mean, you don't have enough energy at the end of the day to try to pick it all up, and it's way past anyways to try to save it. But all the new growth seems to be doing good. It's starting to spread just a little bit. but it has grown quite a bit. I need to kind of remove that so it doesn't knock it over, but it has grown quite a bit. It's definitely spread a lot throughout that. That was pretty new. And now the compost. Now this I haven't looked at in a while. I haven't touched it, but look at that. I threw in some cherry tomatoes in here one of the days, and I guess they sprouted. There's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here. There, actually 6, 7. Jeez, a whole bunch of them. I was thinking about possibly transplanting them, but I got some news for the end of this video. But you can definitely tell those are doing pretty decent. So that's going right in this nice compost. And even though I haven't really tilled it up in a while, it's still doing pretty decently. At least I think so. I need to throw in a little bit of compost inside there because I've been just watering it with a water can, and that has brought down the area right there. I might add a little bit more grass to around this to give it more covering, but I watered it this morning and it's still pretty decently damp. So let's actually check into here, see how good this is doing. Ooh. Yeah, look at that. That is nice. So, ooh. Oh, really earthy. So yeah, that's doing really well, even though I haven't touched it in a long time, just watering it. And my final project that I've been kind of neglecting as well, I first started out, I've tried kind of fast composting and just turn into just leaving it. So I have this little garbage bag, black garbage bag, added some leaves with some fresh garden clippings, or not garden clippings, grass clippings. And look at that. Holy cow, I haven't even watered this in so long, and it's looking still kind of moist. Yeah, look at that. I know it's like some of the water definitely could run off into here, but I haven't touched it in a long while. And a few bugs throughout this. The bugs are definitely loving it. Look at all that bugs. Yeah, I guess it's kind of turned into a vermicompost then. I could possibly just spread this out and leave it like that, because I'm not going to be using that kind of stuff. It's more of a filler, which I could definitely use to fill that hole right there. This kind of fell off. This was just a covering for more protection against the sun, against that. But since it's already, I'm not sure if it's going to survive or not. But yeah, that's what I think. That is it on, other than the trees. The grapefruit tree, I had a whole bunch of grapefruits that I wasn't even able to eat. And then the Barbados cherry tree right here. This has gotten huge from the first time I've done it. Sorry about that. Alright, now that the AC unit is done, here is the Barbados cherry tree. It's possibly 7.5 feet tall now. Possibly need to trim it up just a little bit, but other than that, it's looking really good. It had one extra cherry, like just random cherry that just kind of bloomed up, and I had that one, but there is a random flower there, but the birds got to most of the cherries this season. So the one last thing about this garden is the cantaloupe is actually starting to fruit. But I've got some news. I'm moving. Yes. I know I've only been here probably 2 years now, and I have done quite a bit to this area. I mean, this was just full of grass and weeds, and I feel like accomplished that I have fixed this up, kind of. But this has quite a bit of life around it now, other than just grass and weeds. So here is one final look at my garden right there. So I've already taken off the garden pot. We're not going to take that because I'm going to tell you where we are going. I'm going to mountains of Arizona. We have a 2-acre lot that backs to National Forest. It's a nice place, a really nice place, and there's like 6 garden beds already there. They're gonna have a lot of work, but they're there. The soil isn't really that good on them. There's already water that's kind of irrigated to them, but I have to still kind of turn it on to do that, so it's not on an automated system. So that is the plan for the garden throughout my next home. So no more of the urban garden, going into kind of almost rural garden. It's a pretty rural place out there. So I'm pretty happy for that. So leave a link description down below to a playlist of all my gardening stuff if you're interested in that kind of stuff. You can kind of see what it was before and when I started. And it was like 2018 when I started this, so you can see how much it has changed now. So I want to thank you all for watching. See you in the next one.